Another thing I look for on my pattern is I always check to see if the armhole is balanced. Let me explain why it's important to balance the armhole. The human body is built so that if you create an imaginary line where your shoulder seam would be, from the front to the underarm seam, that distance is smaller than on the back side from the underarm seam to the shoulder seam. We're bigger on our back sides. And so you want more length in your armhole and the back than the front. And if you don't have it, what happens is that the garment will shift to the back, and you'll always be kind of adjusting, kind of pulling it forward on your body so it won't sit on the body. And this is very, very common in t-shirts that you buy. What we're seeing in this pattern is very common in many, many purchased t-shirts. The two armholes measure exactly the same. They have the same shape in the front and the back, and they're the same depth in the front and the back. Here's how you correct it. What you're going to do is on the front pattern is we are going to draw a line and trim away 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to trim away that 1/4 of an inch. And on the back, I'm going to take that extra piece of paper and I am going to tape it into place, and I'm going to add 1/4 of an inch onto the back. Now what that will do is it balances the armhole on an average human body. So this has nothing to do with square shoulder, round shoulder. And I'm going to add 1/4 of an inch and trim the pattern away. Here's another thing you can look at on your patterns is which is the front sleeve and which is the back sleeve. When I look at this pattern and I fold it in half, they are really the same. Yeah, they're exactly the same. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just arbitrarily going to choose, and I will take the shoulder point and I am going to move it forward by 1/2 inch because that's the difference that I have made. So what that does, what balancing the shoulder does, is it gives you more room in the back where you need it, less room in the front where you don't need it. Now, the fact that these two armholes are shaped the same it can have absolutely no impact on the way the garment fits, and we will tune it up as you sew it. So don't be too concerned about it now. It is straight from ready to wear, and many of the t-shirts that you've been buying and wearing and loving your whole life long are made exactly this way. So I would proceed and go ahead with working with this pattern. So the next thing we're going to do is we would pin the pattern together and fit it on the body.